All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. There was a report or just rumors that have been swirling everywhere since the second Pete Carroll got hired by the Las Vegas Raiders a couple of days ago. The rumor or insiders are believing that quarterback Russell Wilson and the Raiders both would be open to a contract in free agency. This is coming from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Two anonymous former Carroll assistant coaches said they believe Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll can coexist after they rekindled their relationship on the heels of a rocky ending together with the Seattle Seahawks. One of his former assistants told Jeremy Fowler with ESPN that I think both would be open to it, especially with this QB class the way it is. And another predicted that the Raiders will sign Russell Wilson in free agency. Now, I don't absolutely love this. I want to say really quickly, here's my thought on the Raiders quarterback situation. I want Shedeur Sanders. That's who I want. I want the Raiders to finally draft a quarterback in the first round. Please. I'm sick of having these top 10 QBs and saying, oh, we're just a little too far away from having a generational QB. And then I have to sit here and watch a guy like Bo Nix, who, no disrespect to Shady Bo Nix, but I got to watch the Denver Broncos have success in year one of Bo Nix. I'm sick of this. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders, Russell Wilson, Captain Kirk Cousins, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Desmond frickin' Ritter, I don't give a rat's ass who the quarterback is as long as it works out. I'm sick of this. And I know every other Raider fan out there is as well. But hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content before we get back into it. Try and get this video to 100 likes, folks. That would mean the absolute world to me. So we all remember Pete Carroll. He was the Seattle Seahawks head coach from 2010 to 2023. And Russell Wilson was his starting quarterback for pretty much the majority of that entire tenure. 2012 to 2021. The Seahawks went 104-53 in the games that Russell Wilson started in that tenure, and they reached the playoffs 8 times and made the Super Bowl twice, including winning 1. Now, in Russ's first season with the Denver Broncos after Seattle was like, yeah, we're all set, they went 4-11, and he had the worst statistical or one of the worst statistical seasons of his entire NFL career. 16 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions, a little bit over 3,500 passing yards. But then they bring in Sean Payton, right? And he improved drastically through 26 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. But once they were eliminated from playoff contention, they decided to bench him and cut him loose the upcoming offseason, right? Now, he signed a 1-year contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the veterans minimum. He missed the first 6 games of the Steelers season due to injury, but from that point out, he went 6-5. 5 straight losses in 11 starts, completing 63.7% of his passes for 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. And just kind of my whole ethos on Pete Carroll and honestly, John Spytek's quarterback vision. So they had their press introductory conference a couple of days ago, and they had a bunch of interesting talking points about the quarterback. They said they want to bring somebody in command, somebody who knows the game, somebody who's going to watch film, grind the tape, work ethic, who just understands football, and they understand it. I don't think that guy is on the roster. Now, I think Aiden O'Connell is a perfectly fine backup for this Las Vegas Raiders team or any other team in the National Football League. And you can look at his statistics from this year, 1,600 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They were very close against the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving or Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. But when I watch Aiden O'Connell in the last 2 years, I'm uninspired in the sense of I don't really think there's a high ceiling. And I'm just literally, like everybody else, so sick of these games. Like I'm so sick of watching it. Like this year sucked with Gardner Minshew. And with Aiden O'Connell, it wasn't much better. And it really sucked with Desmond Ritter. Last year, I got to watch Jimmy Garoppolo come out here and play football, which is just crazy in retrospect. And then Aiden comes in with Antonio Pierce, and they kind of hold it together. And AOC goes 5-5 in his first 10 career starts, but it's just uninspiring. And I would also say Russell Wilson's extremely uninspiring. He's not great, but he's not bad. And Russell Wilson, no matter who's on the roster right now, Gardner, Aiden, or Desmond, Russ is better than all three of those, probably combined, whether you want to agree with it or not. We know what Russ is, and we know what he isn't in this year's or in this stage of his career. Russell Wilson to Las Vegas, I heard a quote, I think it was on television or whatever. He's going to keep the ship afloat. He's going to keep it afloat. And the Raiders have not been afloat for quite some time. My whole point with Pete Carroll and John Spytek's press conference was it didn't really seem like they were going to go out there and draft a quarterback necessarily in the first round. I really do think there's a world where Shedeur Sanders is available at pick number 6. I also kind of can see a world where Cam Ward is available at pick 6. I also see a world where Jackson Dart, who's currently projected early second round, ends up being selected in the top 10 draft picks. It reminds me of Will Levis a couple of years ago. The Las Vegas Raiders had, the 7th pick overall, went with Tyree Wilson, and Will Levis that whole offseason. The whole point from Will Levis 2 years ago getting drafted, it was this guy has no shot getting selected in the top 10, in the first round. But my point just is the press conference didn't really appear like they were going to draft Shedeur Sanders. It didn't really appear like they were going to draft Cam Ward. It seemed like they were going to find some type of bridge QB, maybe draft a quarterback at some point in it. Jackson Dart second round still sounds cool to me. There's no 5th round or 5th year option available, but whatever. Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. These are the types of QBs in free agency that I can see being the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders probably aren't going to win a Super Bowl this upcoming year, but they really are aiming to win. I mean, this Pete Carroll, John Spytek era feels extremely different than the past 2 GMs or the past couple of coaching hires. They feel focused, and it feels very refreshing. And whether it's Darnold, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Shedeur Sanders, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, it doesn't matter. I believe in the ownership group with Tom Brady, and I believe in the GM, the new GM, John Spytek from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I believe in Pete Carroll. And so whatever decision they end up going, even if it's Russell Wilson, which I really don't want for the Las Vegas Raiders, because they have the 6th pick in the draft, why would I go out there and sign Russell Wilson when I could draft a QB at pick number 6 or give up a little bit of something to move up into pick number 5 or what have you? It's uninspiring, but my point is I just do feel very good about the state of the Las Vegas Raiders, or more so the state and the future. And that's just something I haven't really said in the last, or fully believed in the last couple of years. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, let me know down below if you think the Las Vegas Raiders should go after Russell Wilson. Peace.